Ladies and gentlemen, our earning strategies continue. How you can be a smart trader this week. How did our calls and puts strategy work? The strangle we talked about last Friday, our precise daily stock levels, our game plan and Forex, as well as our full stock analysis. I am Mark Melnick, and this is the Newsbeat Show. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Newsbeat Show. So the earnings continue, and it's going to be a whole load of fun. You know why? Because with intelligent earnings names, um, come very intelligent strategies, and we do have a list of these strategies that we were utilizing. But first, I want to just talk about. I'm going to skip over into number two, and then if you stay tuned, I'm going to show you how you could be a smart trader this week. And by smart, what do I mean by smart? I mean not doing something stupid. What is doing something stupid? You know what it is. Trading things a multitude of times. So I was looking over a group of traders from a firm. I'm not going to drop the firm's name. It's not this one, but I was looking over a large group of traders, and I was looking over their daily prop reports, their proprietary traders, and I found something interesting that on average, every single trader, on average, there wasn't one. Let me rephrase that. Nobody broke this rule consistently. There are traders who made money the second time, but overall for the month, I looked at a bunch of traders. It was like 40 of them. Okay, I'm not saying I looked over 2,000 records, but I looked over 40 traders this weekend, and I found something interesting. I was looking at their consistency ratio, their P&L. A lot of the traders are down money. Very, a chunk of them are up money, and others are just teetering in between, as with every major firm generally looks like. And I was looking at the trader record, and I found it very interesting. The interesting thing to me about these trader records were I looked at a certain statistic where a trader would trade a name, win, lose, or draw, and then I would see how the trader traded the name again and again and again. And how many of you out there fall victim where you just literally start, your mind goes elsewhere and you just literally go into scalp mode in a stock, or you'll just make a bunch of trades. You'll trade it three, four, 5 times. You'll always have some reason on your chart you think it could go a certain direction, but I'm saying you take the same name and you trade it a bunch of times, and you're going to love these statistics. So, on average, for the entire firm, on average, the traders were right 43% of the time in terms of their consistency ratio. Now, that, believe it or not, even though, you could say, oh, 43, that's not good. It isn't, but, honestly, the average trader isn't consistent. So it's not like we're not dealing with, a certain type of, uh, you know, what am I trying to say? I guess what I'm trying to say here is the majority of traders are not consistent. It's not like you're dealing with, for example, an NBA player and they're at the free throw line, and on average they're shooting, 40% from the free throw line. We know that's not true. We know it's probably in the 70s for the average player, taking the best free throw shooters and the worst free throw shooters and mixing them together. It's kind of funny because the NBA reference actually goes somewhere in the story. So these traders are right 43% of the time. By the way, what I'm saying here, you're not the only one guilty. I'm guilty of that too. I'm guilty of that too. To a level in which most traders cannot dream of, I'm guilty of that. I mean, there are times where I have to trade, four, five, six, 700,000 shares, just hyper scalping 1,000 shares at a time in and out. I've done it. I've done it. Believe me, that person was me a long time ago. But what if I told you I looked at these traders and I judged them on their second trade and their third trade, irrelevant of whether they made money on their first trade? So on average, these traders, it's about four, it could have been 39, it could have been 41. I didn't count at the end, but I did the math. I did add them up. I just don't have the numbers in front of me, so I'm not going to quote the exact number. What percentage of these traders you think made money on their second trade and third trade? On average, they were right 43% of the time. Every single trader on now remember, 43% on the first time they traded any name they wished to trade. Second and third time, take a guess of how it sloped. I'll give you a hint. It sloped down. 31%, 27%. So when they decided to trade the first time you could be right a little better than 4 out of 10 times. Next time 31%, then 27%. I didn't even go into the fourth time because I just didn't feel like doing that much work. So traders on average are losing money if they trade the same name over and over and over again. You're more likely to lose money. Now, I know there's a mentality of traders, and I know this because I was that idiot, and maybe you are too. Maybe you are too. And it's okay. Don't worry. Hard words are sometimes the best thing in the world you need to hear. I was that idiot, okay? How many of you guys, when you lose money, I'm not that person anymore, feel like a certain symbol owes you money if you lost money in that certain symbol? You'll trade a bunch of names, you'll have a winner, you have a loser, but instead of trading the winner again, you want to trade the loser again because that stock owes you, or maybe you're trying to prove something. Maybe you're trying to prove something because maybe that's the stock that actually owes you money. How many of you guys are like that? So, obviously, it's one of those mentalities where the stock market hit you and your response is to hit back. This is what I mean when I'm talking about being a smart trader, and I'm going to teach you how to overcome it and how to overcome your own psychology. So, again, I was one of those people who were, guilty of that. I'll be the first to admit it, but not anymore. So, I'm going to teach you how to be a smart trader this week. How to be a smart trader. The way you be a smart trader is you apply a consistent strategy regardless of what the market is doing, regardless of what is happening, regardless of how you feel, regardless if you're up money, regardless if you're down money. One of the worst feelings as a trader is to be down money. That's one of the reasons why traders will sometimes hold a position longer than they would because their position isn't up money yet. And one of the key, ways we talked about fixing that psychology is taking 100% max risk in your options. So if you wanted to have a $500 stop in Apple instead of buying 1,000 shares at $100, yeah, I know Apple's not 100, buying 1,000 shares at $100 and leaving a stop at 99.50 and saying, look, I have a $500 risk. My solution is why not just buy $500 worth of calls? You might not make as much money initially, but you'll be able to hold your position longer. You're not going to see your P&L swing crazy. You're going to be able to milk more out of it. And if you become the most stubborn SOB, let's just be honest, certain days for certain people, you're going to hold your losers longer than you would normally would. And people don't get that because they're like, I'm usually consistent. I'm usually consistent, Mark. You know how many times people tell me, I'm usually consistent. I'm making money the majority of the time. And a lot of people tell me that, but the one time I lose, the two times I lose, the three times I lose, I wipe out my whole month. I wipe out my whole 2 months, 3 months, whatever it is, my week, whatever it is. You'll wipe out your gains on that one loss. And what I'm telling you is that there is a way to combat that. So I'm going to tell you exactly how I'm going to trade for this week. But first, I'd like to say thanks to our sponsor. Imagine that. There are no sponsors here. Let's go over right here to our call and put strategy. We're going to talk about Activision. It was kind of intriguing. So what happened on Activision is we were talking about this name last Friday, and we were basically saying in Activision how you could have made money by doing something. Now, I actually got a pour in of love emails because a lot of people actually decided to spend that, what was it, $1.48, I believe, $1.48 for those calls and puts, and those calls and puts absolutely exploded. They absolutely exploded. So those calls and puts went up about 150, 200% in total. 150, meaning if you bet 500 bucks, you could have been up between $1 and $750. If you bet 1,000, you could have been up between $1 and whatever, 1,500. You get the picture. And it was a phenomenal trade because we basically correctly predicted that Activision would have a very large range. And that's exactly what happened. We had this tremendous $4.52 range. And if you were able to grab in that strategy, you made out like a bandit. Now, I did get only a couple, not a lot, of people who took the data. Remember, we said you could do the data straddle as well. Some of you guys actually jumped into that. Truth is, I missed both. Just being perfectly honest. So I didn't even bid on data, but on ATVI I was bidding like $1.25, and the midpoint of the range was $1.20, and I'm like, they have to fill me, and I went to $1.28 and $1.30 even, and they didn't fill me, and I just had to go 15 cents higher, and I would have caught it, but instead they just decided to flush the stock without me, and I was like, oh well. I still had the right idea in mind, and I always fight for my best price, and sometimes I miss a trade. It'll happen again, and I'm cool with it. So for those who took the data straddle, we're talking about this one as well. Take calls and puts. This stock had a $10 range, $9, 86-cent range. Let's round it off to 10. This paid off lovely, as did ATVI. So it's kind of funny when we could see a situation and call what you can actually do the next day and actually catch it. The truth is, when I do these speeches, I catch the vast majority. I'll say, if I'm saying a strategy I'm going to do in terms of a particular name and what I'm going to buy, generally around 75, 80% of the time I'll catch it. Generally, again, that's a made up number. I don't have the exact stats. I'm rounding off there. I'm a very mathematical head, so I know it's about 3 out of 4, 4 out of 5 that I'll actually just take the trade. Forget about making money on the trade. Making money well over 90% of the time when I take it. But for whatever reason, sometimes I don't catch my own trades. That's part of being transparent. That's part of being transparent. Somebody who's coming up to you and basically telling you what they're doing ahead of time is part of the transparency. It is part of what does it. When designing certain strategies, when people come to me, when so many people come to me, and they're coming to me, Mark, develop, these algorithmic strategies. I was told that I shouldn't be talking about that on here. You know that? You know that? These strategies, the one and done strategy, the high five strategy. You know how many people told me that I shouldn't be talking about that on in public to the world? I mean, first of all, between what YouTube and Facebook, what am I getting? Around 1,000 views? Like, I'm not getting, like, this is not like 7, 8 million views. But even for our little trading community, like, how many people are basically telling me I should not be doing this? And then, of course, I turn to them and, Angela, I say, why? Why shouldn't I be doing this? Well, one side of the table will say, well, you have to be able to substantiate it, as if like I were making this stuff up. And I said, okay, I can substantiate it. And then another side said, you're making your strategies weaker by sharing it with the world. And I stopped and I basically said, okay, I mean, substantiate it. You know how much unsubstantiated stuff goes on? Like, I find it amazing considering the type of stuff that floats out there. People using old track records, people sending promotions to your email for what they did in 2014 and 2015, and that's not even the worst. I've seen 2008 and 2001 and whatever. For me, I look at these things and I'm like, you either are trying to help people or you just don't have the ability to. I highly doubt a lot of people out there are talking to and actually trying to hurt you. I think every single person who spends their Sunday evening, for example, like I am right now, talking to you, has a general interest in helping you. You can't do this job if you don't have a general interest in helping someone. And a lot of times when I try to help someone, I try to share some of my credentials to let them know that I'm not some little, as they say here in America, I'm not wet around the mouth. Or I think in Italy they say you have like spaghetti on your ear, I think is the phrase to basically saying, wet around the mouth, like mother's breast milk around your mouth, like you're a newborn baby, or I don't know where the spaghetti around the ear came from, but like, I know what I'm talking about, okay? And I guess ultimately that would be up to the wet behind, is that it? Wet behind the ears? I don't know. They always say like wash behind your ears. You ever hear that one too? Like wash behind your ears? And I'm sitting there and I'm in the shower and I'm like, I put my hand behind my ear. I'm like, I'm wearing this headset all day. Maybe I should wash behind my ears. I always find that funny. But the point is, there's going to be a lot of people who try to substantiate who they are. Now, I could literally break them down, and I will because it's important and somebody brought this to my attention. So, basically, we're going to be sharing a disclaimer with you. We're going to be sharing a complete lawyered up disclaimer every time. I mean, if you watch, I think my video froze. Let's try to fix that. Let's try to fix that. Oh, one moment. Just try to fix that. There we go. That better? That's better. You know, coming to you with these algorithmic strategies is my way of trying to bring you to the next level. I'm already there. Like if I'm sharing with you a strategy that works, I'm already doing it. And again, I could be sitting here with a awkward orange shirt and the rest is to your imagination. I could be sitting here and doing these things myself, but you have to have a genuine interest in helping people, I feel, whether it's substantiated or not. Like the truth is, have I ever even substantiated to you that I'm a traitor? What if I'm a robot? I'm not showing you my birth certificate. But with that being said, I need you guys to be on the lookout for some of these things. Some traders will substantiate themselves by showing a P&L. They'll say, look what I did this day, look what I did this week, look what I did this month. And of course, as always, they'll show you the best of what they did. Personally, I have never showed you the best of what I did, even showing you my seven-figure P&Ls. That is not the best of what I did. It's up there. It's one of the best that I did, but it wasn't the best. Then you'll have other traders who will substantiate who they are by sharing the firms they worked for. So I was a broker back in 1972. I mean, I'm making that up. I was born in 1980. Like somebody will come to you and they'll say, I'm a broker, or I worked on the floor, or I did something like this. And then they're trying to substantiate a form of credibility. It's a very important thing. Then you'll have other people who are just trying to substantiate it with just hard evidence, hard statistical data, things they do, things that they know works in the current environment. And that person is me. When I'm coming to you with these one and done strategies and these high five strategies, and I'm going to bring you a lot more. I'm going to bring your trading to that next level. Believe me. Believe me, if you want to walk down that trail and you're putting in the work and you're putting in a lot of work like I do, you are going to get to that next level. You are going to be successful. It really, to me, is inevitable. I don't think you have to be very smart to be a trader. I think hard work goes way beyond intelligence. Yeah, some form of intelligence is okay. I mean, the fact that you could add to 10 would be very useful in the market, given the fact that there's a lot of numbers. Simple things like that. I think the work and effort that you put in will help you get there. And if you actually try to exercise discipline, the discipline behind it, I think you're going to become successful. I think your odds of success are extremely high. I believe in you. If I didn't believe in you, I wouldn't be on the internet talking to you. Like, I guess that's the point. If I really didn't feel like I was helping you potentially achieve that next level of wherever you are as a trader, whether you're very profitable, you're trying to take it to that seven-figure level, which I know people in the room have done. If you're that trader who is down money and you're just trying to get your account back green, or maybe you you're grinding and you can't really have any form of consistency. You're up and down like a roller coaster. I'm trying to push you over that edge. So I guess if you want to know what I'm trying to do here, that's what I'm trying to do here. And again, I look across these videos and a lot of them are disappointing to me. A lot of these videos are very disappointing because I almost feel like I understand the point of promotion. Like I'm running the Newsbeat live room. I would really love if you joined the Newsbeat live room because I think it brings value to you. With that being said, I'll tell you right now that I'm developing more strategies like this, and I'm going to show them to you. So, of course, we have the one and done strategy right here. I think that was very important. We have the high five strategy. That was right here. What if I brought you 20 of these strategies by the end of the year? Would that blow your mind? Would that blow your mind? We have two of them. If I brought you 20 of them by the end of the year, would that blow your mind? I have a feeling there's going to be a lot more. I'm not going to promise 18 more, but the floodgates are open, ladies and gentlemen. The floodgates are open. As long as there's consistency out there and we're able to identify them, we're going to share them with you. So, I promised you, how are you going to be a smart trader this week? With that being said, how about this? How about I'm going to do the the vast majority of my trades are going to be two things. You ready? One and done. High five. One and done. Playing the 1 minute strategies. High five. Now I know on earnings I'm probably going to come to you again, and I know you guys love me after my Amazon call, and you love the Activision and data call that we gave you on the last Newsbeat show. I'll come with more of that. But outside of that, I don't think trading is going to last much past 11:30, 12. Oh, the more data I wanted to show you. So out of these traders, what number of them do you feel? Yeah, Earl wants another Whirlpool call that we had the Whirlpool shirt on. I respect that. What number of these traders you think lost money trading after 12 o'clock? For the traders that traded after 12 o'clock, I'm talking about for the day, meaning even if they were right half the time and they lost $1 at the end of the day by trading after 12 p.m. Eastern Standard, I consider that a loser. I don't care. I wasn't looking at how many number of their trades were right or wrong. I was looking at their P&L between 12 and 4 o'clock, trading after 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the final 4 hours of trade. What percentage of these traders do you think lost money? What percentage? And I'll take the same trader every day for the past month. Take a guess. Take a guess. These traders, a lot of them were trading at between 12 and 4 every single day. If they were right once on one day, if they're wrong once, what I classified it as individual people on individual days. And the same person, a lot of times the same person traded for 20 days or so after. And I literally counted each one. What percentage of the time were these traders profitable trading between 12 and 4 o'clock p.m. last month? 7. I mean, Amin is the closest without going over. It's like the price is right. 0, Mark. Oh, well, you were the lowest number. You win. 7% of people, not 7% of people, 7% of the time, if any of these traders that I looked at decided to trade between 12 and 4 o'clock for, not August, for the month of July. I said that, right? Last month, not this month. I mean, this month. It's August 6th tomorrow. For the month of July, these traders made money 7% of the time trading between 12 and 4 o'clock. 7%. So, with that being said, to be a smart trader in this market, I look at my own numbers, and the truth is, I haven't traded much after 12. For me, my number is actually kind of funny, but I don't want to use it because I don't want to sound like crazy. I have a very small sample size, but I'm actually profitable between 12 and 4. But not by much, and it was sheer luck. Like some of those were like I was up like 7, $8. Like I'm serious, it's stupid. Bottom line is, traders are not making money based on my analysis of these small sample size, if you will, trading between 12 and 4. So what I'm going to do to be a smart trader is I'm only going to pick names that I want. I'm going to either do the one and done strategy, which you could find a Facebook video on. If you want to watch the one and done strategy, Newsbeat show number one, watch Newsbeat for the one and done and high five. Newsbeat show 128, Newsbeat show 129. Watch both Newsbeat shows if you want details on these two strategies. I'll be doing these two strategies up to 11 o'clock. You know what I'm going to do afterwards? You see these hands? Hope my butt doesn't smell. All right, we're going to sit on them. Hope I don't, get that needle prickly feeling with like the blood flow being cut from my, circulation, but sit on your hands. And the easiest way to sit on your hands is to apply intelligent strategies. Now, by no means does that mean we're not going to hit a home run next week. By no means we're not going to get a potential really great earnings idea, and we might trade that. But outside of that, I'm not going to just tag any name and say, I like this technical setup. I'm just going to jump into it. There's going to have to be more going for it on the news flow side. So if you want to be a smart trader next week, which I think you should be a smart trader every week, I think I'm just more defining how to be a smart trader for this coming week. This is what I'm going to do because statistically, this is what's going to make me money. I'm going to take the Newsbeat names. Again, we come with these names every single day. Every single day, we come out with these lists of names. These lists of names. We come out with them constantly. These strategies that you see work phenomenally well on all these names you see here. These names work beautifully. Now, maybe you're not part of the Newsbeat live room. I respect that. This is what I would do. Considering you haven't taken my masterclass and you don't know really what I look for in the news flow, look for names with higher volume that you want to go long or short in the same direction. That's what I would do. So if a name's gapped up $2, let's say you're not in the Newsbeat live room. If you're in the Newsbeat live room, you don't have to guess what I'm going to do tomorrow because the truth is I have no idea or I would share it with you right now. But I do know how I'm going to trade. I'm going to trade the names I find using the strategies. Find a name that's gapped up a lot that you like. Apply the one and done in high five to the long side. Find a name that's down a lot that you like that has high volume. Look for a one and done to the short side and a high five strategy to the short side. By applying those two strategies, you are putting yourself in one of the most, in my opinion, algorithmically most frequent consistent strategies. It's funny that I actually have four strategies that work 100% of the time this year so far. However, they're very infrequent. One of them happened once, the other happened twice, the other happened once, and the other happened 4 times, and they just all happen to work. That's not a strategy you can live on. So even if something is right 100% of the time, it means nothing if it gave you 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 trades for the year, especially if you're an active intraday trader. So the strategies I'm giving you with the one and done in high five, there hasn't been a day in existence where you could have not applied this strategy ever, considering the market was open and after 9/11 they closed it for a day. As long as the market's open, the strategy works. Okay? Let's put it that way. As long as the market opens, it's effective and live, and it's a living strategy that works. And for some reason, which I don't have an answer for, it is phenomenally consistent this year. And you know what we do here in the Newsbeat Live Room? We will always find you consistent strategies that are working today and tomorrow, not consistent strategies that no longer work as well, but they were consistent 5, 10 years ago. And I'm going to continue fighting for you, and I'm going to continue believing in you. But ladies and gentlemen, For heaven's sakes, whatever you believe in, for whatever you believe in sake, maybe you're very spiritual. That's fine. Teach their own. I'm not, this isn't religion 101. But if somebody is trying their best to help you, offering you out a hand like this, I could be spending time with my wife and son now. If somebody's taking time out of their day to spend time with you, to help you, heed the advice. I can't legally tell you what to trade. I would never legally tell you what to trade. That was actually one of the things that we were having this big talk about earlier. But please watch Newsbeat show 128 and 129. Okay, it doesn't help me at all by you watching Newsbeat show 128 and 29. It basically shares with you how to go after the high five strategy. So where I'll just say, so for example, when it says choose a name with positive or negative news on the Newsbeat Live morning game plan, let's say you're not in my room. Let's say you're one of the people who are not in my room. A lot of people are not in my room. A lot of people are in the room. We're the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Pick a name, as I said, that gaps up with positive news and high volume. Pick a name that gaps down with negative news and high volume. And as long as you could do that, you won't be as consistent as me, but you'll be comparable. You'll be comparable. Yes, by following my names, I don't know the exact numbers because I don't track names that I don't trade. But in terms of my names, from what I have seen, when I actually choose the news names, because I had the data back from months ago, but I didn't I haven't updated. I don't track names. It's too much work to track names I do trade, to track names that I don't look at or trade. Last I checked, it was around 4 to 7% given on the name in the day. So honestly, utilizing that strategy, by being in the Newsbeat live room, I'm adding 4 to 7% consistency. Doesn't sound like a lot. It really is, and it isn't. So if you're not part of the room and you want to garner value, I'm here for you. Follow these strategies. Do it on a demo account. I'm not telling you legally what you should do with a real money account, right? Try following these strategies on a demo account. See if it's for you. Try it. Really, plug in the trades on a demo account. Do it for yourself. Do it one day. Plug it in. See if it works. If you like them, the beautiful thing about applying them now is I'm going to be coming to you with a lot more of these simple, effective, easy strategies. I call them C strategies for a reason. You see on the top it says SEE strategies, simple, effective, easy. Trading will always be as complex as you wish it to be. Trading will always be as simplistic as you want it to be. As long as what you're doing is consistent, it doesn't matter how much work you're putting in. So, ladies and gentlemen, how about our precise daily stock levels? So, to be a smart trader, I'm going to do the one and done and high five strategy for the vast majority of my trades this week. What are my odds of making money every day? You ask yourself that. Here are Newsbeat technical algo levels. You want to copy every single support and resistance level I have in the Q, Spiders, IWM, and every FANG name from Facebook, Apple, Amazon, Netflix, and Google. You want my support and resistance levels. You want my technical algo levels. I do want to point out one thing though. There's one level which is not really that algorithmic, and that is right over here, the Apple resistance level. That's just the all-time high. And the reason why this is the only one that's not trendline based is because I have no ascending resistance that I respect. This is the ascending resistance lines, and it cracked through really hard. So even though, yeah, the level is definitely like a resistance breakout, it's not based off a trend line. It's just simply the all-time high. So I will point that out, that Apple resistance is the only stock that falls within that range because of how hard it's gapped up recently. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, how about what's on our game plan? I'm giving you KHC. KHC. That is, what is that? Kraft Heinz, KHC. Yep. So Heinz ketchup, everyone's favorite ketchup, right? Exploding here to the upside. They have organic ketchup, by the way, that has no corn syrup. Make sure you check that out. 64.99, your breakout on Kraft Heinz. 64.99. The stock exploded up on earnings, as you could see. I'm looking for a simple break of $64.99. That was the high from Friday. And if you want all my Forex trades, I had a series of winners. I had a few losers last time, and I keep plugging away. Here are the orders I'm watching. You get where I'm looking to buy. Here are the symbols, the buy, US standard lots, the exact price up to 5 decimal places out of where I'm bidding, my exact stop loss in case I'm wrong, my exact take profit in case I get filled and I'm right. And that's all for you to utilize in any way that you deem fit. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to get into our full stock analysis. That is for Newsbeat Live members only. I analyze any stock you're watching, give you my levels and thoughts behind it potentially. We're the fastest growing trading room in the nation. Happy trading, make money. We'll see you guys next time on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Have a wonderful, consistently profitable day tomorrow and a wonderful weekend.